Hello, everybody. Welcome to Carl and Heather Present, the podcast about how to be married to somebody who is nothing like you. We're going to have a good time today. Let's get. Oh, don't you know it's Carl and Heather Present Marriage Podcast.
Well, hey, babe.
Heather Carty.
Yes, you're looking sharp
My wife.
in your green outfit.
We're wearing matching hoodies.
We're not typically a matching,
Matching couple.
we're a coordinating couple. So, like, I'll say, what are you wearing today?
It says Marriage Podcast CNH.
which-
One of our sons, he designed this on a website, and he gave us these hoodies for Christmas,
Yeah.
and we thought we would wear them together
I thought it'd be fun.
on.
Together on purpose.
He designed it on a website. I sounded like
You sound like an old person. He designed
did
it
that.
on a
He
website.
did that all by himself on
Right,
the internet.
right.
That's really good. Some important dates that you want to know about.
Okay.
If you're trying to come and listen to me and Heather speak at a conference, your opportunity is great in the
Okay.
spring.
Am I telling these?
Tell them.
Okay. March 6th through the 8th, which is coming right up this weekend.
Yep.
We will be in Sun River, Oregon.
Shout
for
out.
a-
If you're listening to the podcast from
Yes.
Oregon, come say hi in
Yes.
Sun River.
From with a weekend to remember, Family Life Weekend to Remember. Appleton, Wisconsin, another weekend to remember, March 20th through the 22nd. Tulsa, Oklahoma, March 27th through the 29th.
I'm living on Tulsa time. I've never been to Tulsa, Oklahoma before.
What is that a song?
Yeah.
I'm living on Tulsa time.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I've never heard that. Okay, anyway, weekend to remember.
I hope it is. If it's not, hey.
I was like, what does that mean? And then Lake Tahoe, Nevada, the 17th, April 17th through the 19th. And all of those are our weekend to remember dates. You can use code Team Carty for $100 off per couple.
$100 off. That's a
go.
pretty good deal.
We're also going to be in Sheridan, Wyoming for a marriage event at a church there from May 1st through 2nd.
First Baptist Church, Sheridan.
Yep.
We're coming to see you.
And then Long Island, that wasn't good, was it? Long Island, I still say island. They don't say island.
Long Island.
Do I need to smile when I say it? Long
I don't
Island.
know how to do it.
I just don't know how to say it.
Keep trying.
But I do love the way that people from Long Island talk. Long Island, New York, June 5th and 6th. So excited about being at those
You
events as well.
can learn more about all those events at carlandheather.com. You can sign up to register. You can find all the information there.
Do all the things. Yeah.
Do all the things.
Well, update me on your life. I know I live with you, but like, tell me something interesting about you.
Well, as many of my various Instagram followers might have saw this, but I just finished a book that I really loved.
You just said might have saw this. I just want to mention that. Reading's hard. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Many of the people that follow me on Instagram could have seen this
Yes.
as I made a post about it. But I just finished a book called Theo of Golden.
Okay.
And I would like to put my full-throated endorsement
Okay.
behind this book because it was just a wonderful book. Sometimes, you read when like as a pastor or as a ministry person, you're writing a lot, you're reading a lot, studying things, trying to get ready to say things. And reading for leisure or reading for just pleasure feels like a luxury that don't necessarily seem academic, or they don't necessarily seem like, oh, this is an important book, you should be reading this one. Right. These other Theo of Golden is just a book about a man named Theo who has an encounter in the town of Golden. And it is a delightful story. So
Okay.
if you're looking for a book to read, a character to inspire you, and it was one of those books where when you close it, you're like, oh man,
You're sad.
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah. You you connect with the characters.
Very much
You
so.
miss. Would you give it 5 stars?
I'm not known for my book ratings,
Right.
but I would say I loved it so much, and I do read a lot of books.
You do.
I
Yes,
interact
you're-
with a lot
you're
of
an avid
books,
reader.
and so I loved this book. It was very good.
I will have to say,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to say it was written by Alan Levi, who is a songwriter. And so I know of Alan's work through my songwriting world.
Okay.
And this is the first book he's ever written.
Well done, Alan.
Oh my gosh.
Well done.
Come
well
on,
done.
buddy.
I will say that I have seen several posts about this book since you have mentioned it. And everyone has said the same thing that you've just said.
Yeah.
Everybody, it just speaks so highly of this book.
What
So,
books have you been reading?
I'm reading a book by Natalie Runyon called I Hate Women and Other Lies That, I think it's, the tagline is something about other lies that are damaging to the sacred sisterhood. And it's just this idea of, it's partially so far, it's her story of being called out of worship ministry into women's ministry and being kind of like that. I just don't like being around women.
Didn't want to go
I
and do it.
didn't want to do
Yeah.
that. I wanted
Yeah.
to do this, and the Lord had something else for me. But I've been following her for a while now on Instagram, and
Yeah, she's a good follow. She's a good writer.
she's a good writer, and so I was interested in this story. And it's funny, as somebody who helps run with my friends a women's ministry event, conference. I've heard people say, "Well, I just don't do women's conferences," that kind of thing. And so, because of that, it's like it's kitschy or it's this or I just don't, whatever. And so I like Natalie's posture in that of like, here's what I thought, but this is a lie that damages the sacred sisterhood.
Yeah,
So,
I like her. She's called Raised to Stay.
that's her Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah, Raised to Stay. So
Raised
and her
to
followers
Stay.
are called Stayers.
Stayers.
So I like that. People that stay.
She had razors right there. She
I
had-
know they're stayers though, and she's a church kid,
Yeah.
and she's like, hey, and that's the context. I'm raised to stay. I'm
Okay.
staying in church.
Okay.
and we're stayers. That's what we are.
Stayers.
And I'm so for that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm for that,
I'm a
so.
stayer. Hey, today we became members of a church.
We did. Yeah. It was exciting.
Was it? Okay, so just to set the stage, we have been attending Gateway Church in Franklin for about 6 or 8 months now. And we went through a new members class and they showed our picture today at church. And they were,
Yeah.
and among many pictures, we weren't the only ones.
Right.
But it was just like, and the following people have become ministry partners here at Gateway. We went through the membership class and it was like, blah, blah, blah. And then they showed a picture of our family. And it said Carl and Heather Carty. And it has been so long since I have been a member of a church that I didn't work at.
Yeah.
And it was a wild thing.
Yeah.
It was-
Wild in what way? Say more about that.
I was just like, wow, I just go to church here. I don't make a dime from this church.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Which that's probably for 95% of people listening to podcasts. They're like,
Yeah. Same.
yeah, that's my
Yeah.
life, bro.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, I've always had a job at a church,
Yeah.
and right now I have a job at a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I will say that today was special for me because I thought about, I think we thrive in community and we die in isolation. And for as much as people have, this is not what we're going to talk about today on the episode, but for as much as people say, well, I can have my church, like I can go on a hike and I just spend time with God that way, or I connect with God in the mountains or at the beach or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you don't.
My church is at the bingo hall.
Right.
Stuff like
Not
that.
that. What I am saying, though, is that we were meant to thrive in community. And it is beautiful, and it is the way God intended it, and it is messy, and it is clunky, and you've got the awkward, and you've got you got all kinds of people that show up to church. So if you're looking for like, well, I just haven't found a church that, and we're the people that now have a lot of compassion for people who are looking for church, because
Yeah.
that had been us about a year and a half ago, 2 years. However, I will still say, and I will this is a hill I will die on, that we are meant to be a part of a body of believers consistently pouring into the local church. We are for the local church. And so that is something that we are for. And I felt great to say, this is my church.
This is my church.
Yeah, it felt
It was
good.
really, really
It was special. It was really special. So shout out Gateway Franklin.
Yeah.
We love
shout
y'all.
out Gateway Franklin, Pastor
Yep.
Charlie Weir.
Yep. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
we're talking about our origin story.
Like as in, it was a dark day in 1973, and I came out of my mother's womb crying and screaming. That origin story?
I mean, I think we should not go quite that far back.
Okay.
We should maybe start like on the day.
You're talking about me and you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do that.
yeah.
Okay.
I remember the day I decided I was going to try and like make you my girlfriend, or at least flirt with you. Mm-hmm. You were coming out of the dorm room. You had a sundress on. It was kind of one of those really, really nice, like summer, early fall days. Mm-hmm. You looked so pretty. And I thought, I'm going to talk to this girl. And I'm really going to impress her. Mm-hmm. So I go up to you and I say, hey, Heather, I just want to tell you look really pretty in that sundress. And you got the big smile, bright eyes, Southern accent. Mm-hmm. You said, thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see my boyfriend.
Okay, did I say it like that? Did I say, I'm going to see my boyfriend?
Pretty much.
I don't think I said, I just was like, thank you.
That's the way it sounded to me.
Okay. Well, that was true. I was going to see my boyfriend. He obviously did not stay my boyfriend. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But like I was being honest, but I mean, I was into you too. We met in a
What was I wearing that
choir
day?
class. I don't remember. Sorry. I actually don't remember that day so much.
You don't remember that happening, really?
No, I don't remember that happening so much. I do remember seeing you, for those of you that did not know Carl back in the 1900s, he had hair that was about the length that my hair is now.
It was longer.
It was longer than my hair is shoulder length now.
Super good hair.
This was super good. Like wavy. It had some natural highlights through it.
My hair's growing back now, way back.
But it was like, I just remember seeing you like sitting on the quad, like the center of campus, and you were like cross-legged with a guitar in your lap and playing the guitar, and all the girls were like, oh, Carl, you know. And,
Is that what they said?
Yes, they were, oh, Carl.
Oh, Carl.
And I was thinking, he's so cute. And you were in my choir class, or I was in your choir class. I don't know. Yep. It was your major, so I guess I was in your choir class. And you were
Me and our boy Seth Townley.
Seth were the class clowns, because you don't want to be in that class. And so you just made it super fun. But fast forward, we dated forever. I felt like it was forever. 3.5 years.
I felt like it was appropriate.
It was too long. We dated for 3.5 years. But once we got engaged, I think June 1st was the date. We were married that September.
Yeah.
So quick, we are big fans still to this day of a quick engagement.
If you're engaged, get on with it.
Do it quick. Don't try. There's too much time there. Can just do some bad stuff.
It's too much.
Figure it out. If you've already decided we're going to do this, then
But don't
go
live
ahead.
together either. If you
No, don't do that. Don't do that. But let's fast forward to like maybe wedding night. And I will say a couple things happen right away when we first got married. So wedding night, we realized pretty quickly we're having some problems. We're having some intimacy issues right out of the gate, which is not what most people would hope for or think would happen on their wedding night. What happened as a result of that was we immediately began to kind of distance ourselves from each other. Or at least I felt I kind of built up a wall and started pulling back from you.
Yeah.
That was my first, and that was within maybe the first night, but then the first, several weeks of being married.
You and I were imperfect people, but we had tried to honor each other going into our marriage.
Yeah.
It was not long after that where we started drifting apart.
Yeah.
Just because I think both of us felt like I didn't sign up for this. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Right.
But then when we did know what we didn't know, it was like
Too late to get out.
too late to get out.
And the stress ended up doing some things to you physically.
Yeah, so I'd say we're a couple months into it, and I was stressed out, and it ended up with some severe, like, nerve-related pain. But it's kind of one of those things where you go to the doctor and you try to explain yourself, and you're like, my head hurts really bad, and it hurts to brush my hair, and I've got this pain, and it feels like my nerves are tingling. And the doctor's like, well, you're perfectly healthy. Go home and, hope he gets better.
Take a Tylenol.
You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was related to stress, though. I think it was called trigeminal neuralgia, which may be one of those catch-all phrases that they use. But anyway, I was having some serious, like, I think fatigue and stress and anxiety related things that were manifesting themselves in my body.
Yeah.
And it was related to just disappointment and frustration with being married.
Yeah. Well, and then even a month after we got married, you and I went over back to my parents' house for a cookout. My middle sister had gotten married that same year. So sorry, Mom and Dad, for that huge expense in 1 year, 2 weddings in 1 year. My baby sister had gone to college. And so they were empty nesters kind of overnight in 1 year. We all flew the coop kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this was the first time we were all coming back together. So excited, had a cookout. But at the end of that cookout, sadly, my parents told us that they were going to get a divorce. And they'd been married for 26 years. And for me, I think what that did was sometimes we put all of our expectations, or we have people that we look up to. And that was almost like a rug pulled out from underneath me, because maybe my sisters who had been living at home could see some signs, but I did not, because I had been living away from home for, 4 or 5 years with college and living out on my own. And so that further caused me to further pull away from you, because I felt like, well, if this can happen to my parents, then who's to say it's not going to happen to us?
Sure.
Yeah.
That will go down in history as the most awkward cookout I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Because when your parents made that announcement, then you and your sisters left the room, and you left me and my brother-in-law, Brent, who was also new to the family, just kind of sitting in there talking to your parents.
Actually, side note, this may make our listeners not listen, but Brent was not totally new to the family, because he was my boyfriend in middle school. Now, before you think, what kind of family is this? My sister Holly, who married Brent, was not my sister. She was adopted later in our family, so she came to live with us when I was a sophomore. But Brent and I, my brother-in-law, grew up together. So he was an old boyfriend. It sounds kind of weird.
And now he's a new brother-in-law.
Now he's a new brother-in-law. I don't know how that all works out.
Me and Brent and your mom and dad sitting there
out.
like, wow, so how about them Braves?
Yeah. Okay,
Anyway.
so same time that happened, though, you were traveling a lot.
I was traveling
Our first
a lot.
year of marriage.
Our
How many
first year of
days? Do you remember how many days you're gone?
Almost 200 days of traveling.
So 200
playing
nights
music.
of 365 away from each other that first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I was working and also not making a ton of money. It was playing music, but not the glamorous kind where, you sell out stadiums. It was not that.
Yeah.
It was just play for whoever and whenever, and birthday party, grocery store opening, bowling alleys, lock-ins, the 2 a.m., worship leader slot.
You were doing it, though.
I was doing it.
You were making your living as a musician.
Yeah, I did.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I'm so proud of you.
The hard part of that was I was doing, Christian music. I was in ministry.
Yeah.
I was doing what I was good at, doing what I was called to, and saying yes to that meant saying no to investing in my relationship with you and investing in our marriage. And even though I was doing something that was on the surface noble, I was saying yes to it at the cost of our marriage and our relationship and our connection.
Yeah. Well, and here's the interesting thing I think about not just that season, but anytime you have struggles in your marriage, especially if you're in ministry, it's not very popular to say, hey, I'm struggling in this area. It's like it could be detrimental, but I don't think it's popular. It feels like a loss. It feels like admitting to people around you that, like, hey, we're losing. And people would come up to you as a newlywed, come up to us and, oh, don't you just love being married? And isn't this great? And if it's not, I felt a little shame in that about saying, like, well, no, it's not going great. Because my family was kind of splitting up. My parents were getting divorced. We sold our, childhood home. And as a result of that, my sister was essentially homeless her first summer home from college. And so in addition to us getting to know each other, my baby sister moved in with us. So we had a new roommate that summer.
And I want to be careful to say how much I love your sister, Angie. She is a wonderful woman.
Can
and
you say, though, that 19-year-old Angie was different than
I care for her
40-something?
so much. But when she was 19 and she came to live with us, I was like, oh, God. And I mean, hey, I'm 25. You know what I mean? I'm no, experienced veteran myself. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And we're all
trying to figure this out.
We're all hurting in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out. And for you and me, it was your family fracturing. I'm gone a lot. I'm already working at a church when I am home, trying to plant a church called Christ Covenant Church.
Shout out Christ Covenant.
In Boiling Springs. There were all these factors. We had some struggles with intimacy that we just couldn't work out.
Yeah.
All these little pieces come together. Next thing you know, you and I are drifting into isolation.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, I'd rather this just not keep going.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation at our kitchen table saying essentially, we made a mistake. How are we going to get through the next 50 years and stay married? Which is one of the worst places, I think, to be.
Yes.
50 years is a long time. I think probably, maybe I shouldn't say we all get there, but I think there's a time where you might say, did I make a mistake here? And it might be for us quickly, or it may be 20 years into it, or it may be, that kind of thing.
I think any couple that's married for any length of time, whether it's 5 weeks or 5 years or 15 years or 25 years, you're not guaranteed that everything is going to go okay.
Right.
And honestly, the way we change over time, you could be married to the same person, but it feel like after a lifetime together, it could feel like you've been married to 5 or 6 different people just because who you are as 23-year-old Heather walking down the aisle is not who you were as 30-year-old Heather who was a mother. But you became a different person when you became a mother, and you're still married to me. Our covenant is still the same. We're growing and building our family, but all of us have to make adjustments. And that's not even to say people get sick.
Right.
Things happen, like you lose a job, you have to make a move. All of those things, they come in and they change us and they shape us. And what are the things that we're doing that still say, hey, this covenant relationship matters more to me than anything in the world. And I'm not just married to you for who you are right now. I'm married to you. I'm married to who you are no matter what. I'm committed to you. I'm in 100%.
Yeah. I think I remember one night, I don't even know if you remember this or not, but we had a pretty big fight. I don't remember what our fight was about. I felt like we were in kind of a loop where we would just kind of fight about the same things over and over again as newlyweds. And we had a big fight, and I felt a lot of shame or a lot of need to make sure that everybody knew that we were great. I wanted everybody to think, oh, Carl and Heather are doing great, and we weren't.
They're probably going to have their own podcast today.
Right. Actually, it's probably a good indicator that you've had a lot of not greats if you start your own podcast. But I don't think anybody but maybe my friend Susan knew that we're not doing great. I love her dearly to this day. We got in a fight and you left. I don't even know if you remember that fight or leaving, but I have had a few times in my life where I feel like the Lord clearly has spoken to me and has shown me something. In this particular time, I was crying and I was asking, Lord, how am I gonna get through this, Lord? And I was praying, and it was just like all this was happening at once. I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I can't talk to anybody about this, Lord. You gotta help me. And I just thought, I'm gonna read. And I opened up my Bible. I still have the same Bible. And I opened it up, and it just fell open to Isaiah. And again, I'm not like one of these, open up your Bible and do like this and then point, and that's where God's having you to go. But this is what happened to me when I started. And I opened it up, and it took me to Isaiah 54. And I promise you, the very first verse that my eyes landed on was a verse that says, the Lord your maker is your husband. And it was at that moment for me that I realized that I was wanting something out of you and from you that you couldn't give me. And I had all these expectations of you and the kind of man I needed you to be and the husband I wanted you to be or what I thought you should be. And the Lord was saying, hey, let me be that for you. Let me be that for you. Let me be whatever I need to be for Carl, but let me be that for you. And it freed me. Now, nothing changed in our circumstances. You didn't come home and we're like, Heather, it looks like the glory of the Lord is upon you and everything is going to be okay now. It was still real messy for a real long time. But I think for my relationship with the Lord, that was a turning point for me that I can remember. And I remember feeling like enveloped by the Lord, as if he had just come around. Like if you've ever had somebody come behind you and just hug you and wrap their arms around you, I felt like that. Like I felt so held by the Lord in that moment. And to this day, I can remember, like I feel that feeling when I think about that. I'm so grateful because I think, what would I have done in that moment if I didn't have the Lord? And then past that, we had other people who helped us through that season in community. I had Beth Cabanis, you had Robert Shaw. We had other people, Jeff Long, who walked alongside of us and said, hey, you're going to make it. You need to hang in there. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remember probably the seminal moment in our relationship was when we knew we needed to be together. Like literally together. I was traveling so much. We're both busy. You had a job though at our college where we went to.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our steady income where the music stuff could rise and fall. You had the steady job, but that meant you couldn't travel with me. And if I'm out traveling, you're home working, we're not together. And I remember we prayed and we said to the Lord, God, we need to be together. If this marriage is going to work, we need to be together. We can't work on a relationship if we're doing it miles and miles apart from each other, away from each other all the time. And we prayed and asked the Lord, said, Lord, give us clarity and direction on whether or not I'm supposed to quit playing music and traveling, or is Heather supposed to quit this job and come travel with me? Both options were on the table. Both were viable options, except the option where you quit your job meant that we lost some significant income and that we were probably going to be short about $1,000 a month of making our bills. And that's a very unpopular, especially with like father-in-laws and stuff like that.
Right.
It's never great.
Right.
But I remember praying and we said, Lord, we want to be together and we feel called to be together more than we feel called to playing music or you working at our college or anything like that. We want to be together and we want to serve you together. And we want our marriage to last and work so that it can have impact for the kingdom. And we both prayed and we felt the Lord said, you quit your job. And we go on the road together. And taking that big step of faith, it was a financial step. It was a career step. It was really something that you had, going and playing music on the road was not something that you had ever even dreamed about for the first time in your life.
Right.
You were not that person. And you said yes to it. I said yes to it. Every time I look at a house that we live in, a car that we drive, experience that we have, a platform that God has given us, whatever, every time I look at any one of those things, I always see a direct line back to that one step of faith where we just said, hey, we want our marriage to count for more than just, she's trying to fix me, I'm trying to fix her. We want it to be something where we find purpose for the glory of God in it. And God has filled in every single blank since then. And it's absolutely unbelievable to me, the faithfulness and the goodness of God to respond to two kids who were pretty mad at each other, pretty frustrated, but by his grace, we just were like, all right, well, we know one thing. We got to be together to work on this. And God has moved so beautifully ever since then.
Yeah. So what would you say then to somebody who's listening today and they're hearing this story and they're like, all right, great for y'all. What about me? I'm here in this spot either by myself or we're not together. We're not on purpose. We are butting heads. We're having all these issues. How would you encourage as we wrap up today? So what kind of thing?
Well, I think of either being like nose to nose with somebody. looking at somebody in an adversarial way. When we were married first, I was looking at you. You're my adversary. I didn't sign up for this. I don't want this. You're my adversary. You're the broken one. So straighten it out so that this thing can work. You know what I mean? That was the posture that I have. And, you know, we were kind of nose to nose.
Yeah.
You would have said the same thing about me.
Correct.
We were nose to nose. We were adversaries. And even though the day we said I do, we were crazy in love.
Oh, yeah.
We were so happy. But it just doesn't take long for things to fall apart in that way, and you get nose to nose. But my encouragement for anybody that feels like you're at that adversarial place is to get side by side, to find something that you can do together where you take the focus off trying to fix each other and you unite your strengths to try and impact the world around you for the gospel and for the glory of God. When you lock arms and lock in on purpose to advance the gospel, advance the kingdom of God together, where you are together pushing towards a goal, pushing towards something, pushing towards impact, pushing towards influence, that has a way of uniting you unlike any other thing. When you get that purpose for what your marriage is, when you get it locked in, it's an incredible shift. It's an incredible realignment of when you get on purpose together, transforms everything. And that's what happened when you quit your job.
Yeah.
We were no longer nose to nose. We were side by side.
Well, hey, if you're in a spot and you're listening and you feel like, hey, I'm nose to nose and I really could use some prayer, we pray for couples every week. And so you can email us at hi@carlandheather.com. And we'd love to pray for you. We keep those prayer requests confidential. It's just Carl and I that read those, and we don't share those with anybody else.
I share a lot of them.
He shares on social media a lot. No, we keep them confidential, and we pray for those together. And so we'd love to pray for you. It'd be our honor to pray for you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week.
Together on purpose.
Together on purpose.